Yeah, hello. Today we want to talk about these miniature circuit breakers. And particularly this one are for DC current. So it's a difficult thing to interrupt DC current because the lack of the current zero crossing point. You can get these cheap on AliExpress, for example. This manufacturer is called EARU with the type EACBDC-63. So this is the current which is the maximum for this kind of series, for these MCBs. And what's interesting is they have a polarity. So if you have a MCB with 2 poles, this one is with 4 poles, typically you have the polarity. It's printed here very small but visible, plus minus minus plus. So what this means is this MCB is designed to interrupt the current which is running in this direction. So this is not the potential, but the potential at the MCB during current flow. The polarity comes from permanent magnets which sit in here somewhere, where the contact opens and closes, and you have a magnetic field across the arc. I have another video, it's only in German, but yeah, it comes from the Lorentz force, where the arc is forced into the arc distinguishing chamber. Yeah, we have tested these types of MCBs. Our first test looked like this. We had a battery and a huge power switch, and then we have, I draw it like this. So this fuse is now such a MCB, and we only used one contact, so from plus to minus. And we had here about, what was it, 580 volts DC and a short circuit current of about 3 kiloamperes, something like that, a bit more perhaps. And at the first test we used it at the correct polarity, and the interesting thing is here's written 1000 volts and here 4500 ampere switching capacity. Yeah, for the writing we are well below these numbers, and yeah, the MCB blow up into sparks. I interrupted the current immediately by the huge power switch. And in the second test we reversed the polarity, and the sparking fire, and it was about the same bad like in the first test with the correct polarity. So in the second test we had here a minus and here a plus. Both of them look now like this. This was the second test, this was the first test. So written here is the correct polarity. This one was, as said before, with the wrong direction of current. They both look very awful, and they are very dangerous by themselves. So you cannot trust them in any way. In this application. Unfortunately, some research showed that one contact or one pole can only switch 250 volts. So that was a fault on our side. We were well below, above the specifications of 250 volts DC as a per pole. So you have to increase the number of poles if you want to switch higher voltages. And in particular, we did it with this one in another application. This looks like this. So what I wanted to do with this kind of box is to make a short circuit current measurement of a PV string. We did this. We had the solar generator with a open circuit voltage of 650 volts DC. And then I had my clamp meter for reading the current in ampere, and I used this box to make the short circuit, and I had a reading of about 18 ampere DC. It was a PV string with two strings in parallel. This was fine, but when I opened the switch, so I cannot actuate anymore. At the first test it worked. So when I switched it off, it made some sparking inside. You could notice it, you can hear it, and there was some smoke. And at the second test there were more or less the same conditions for a second PV string, and there someone else was at another switch, so we had somewhere in the system a switch we could turn off and on the whole PV voltage. And yeah, I tried to open the short circuit current, and it had open fire within 1 or 2 seconds, about this size. So it was really dangerous, and the other guy switched off the power with the second switch. So these kind of MCBs are very, very dangerous. They don't hold what they promise. They have the CE certificate of conformity for Europe. They note the relevant standards, but they don't hold anything what they claim. They are very dangerous if you really use them. If you have used them in some projects, please replace them by some proper brands which have proper certificates and test. Yeah, that was the story from today. Thank you very much for watching. See you.